We're in It's All Actions and All Results. We are the Business Accountability Group who is this week going to celebrate 6 months and 20 episodes. We've been at it week after week after week, grinding our way to the next level, finding our way to the next level, challenging our way to the next level, and supporting each other with all our work and all our efforts. So this week, we're not going to go through the traditional session. What we're going to do is do a little review of where we are and how far we've come over the last 6 months. Now, because we're an extremely professional group, this means that we have a very specific set of prepared questions for each of us to answer. Not because I asked everybody to prepare some questions, and the response I got was lackadaisical. There's a word I've never used before in my life. I've been waiting for a moment to use that word. So, so there we go. We've been doing this together for 6 months, and what I want is an off the top of the head feeling about how it feels to do this for a period of 6 months. Who's going to throw the first punch?
Okay.
Well, go
Fight,
ahead, John.
fight,
Go ahead.
fight,
Go
fight,
ahead,
fight, fight, fight.
Go ahead, Rudy. Rudy, go
Well, I was thinking of this because I did just get refocused, and yeah, I think after 6 months, I think we should have some definite results to our actions. And I was even thinking back to what Carl of BU was wanting me to do, because I actually talked about some of the improvements in my life that I had the first 3 months since I joined BU. Well, since then, things have gotten even better, and I still want to give Eric Thomas some credit for getting me off my butt and doing some things that I was waiting to do for no reason. But also this group. This group is one of them, and this group unto itself has helped me to do some very distinct things as far as improvement, as far as career and other things are concerned. So I'll go through them quickly because I know Graham doesn't like me going off on too long a rant. One, I've increased my monthly income. I have to add this up, but I've increased my monthly income anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000 more a month in the last.
Wow! Damn.
Since October, since I joined BU. So basically, yeah, I added a definite more amount of money to my monthly income, which in turn we were able to take our first big family trip. We went to Hawaii for 8 days.
Right.
And this is something we haven't been able to do at all for the last 10 years or so. We've just been raising the girls because they were so young. We didn't really do anything. But so on top of that, we were able to afford to go on our first big family vacation. This is indirect, but it does manifest itself, especially with some of the peer groups that I have gotten with you guys, but more with some of the other BU members. I've gotten refocused on getting back into really good shape, so I've dropped about 25 pounds off, mostly all fat, put some muscle back on, so as you can see in some of my videos, I'm in a lot better shape than I used to be in. This is probably the best shape I've been in about 10 years.
Wow.
So, and then I don't talk to you guys much about this stuff. Spiritually, different things, whether it's religious or not, I've gotten more into developing more meditative parts of my life, and I'm still developing that, and that's something I haven't been pursuing for a long time. So, my body, mind, and spirit, I would say in the last 6 to 8 months, I have definitely made major improvements over the last 10 months, over the last 10 years. So I would have to say, since joining BU, and I will give them credit because that's where I met the two of you and Jackie, I have made a lot of distinct result-inducing improvements that are palpable, that I can show people. So I thank the two of you, and I do thank VU, and I do thank some of the new resources that I have been reviewing in the last few months as well.
That's
Very good.
just that's better than very good. I mean that's amazingly
Yeah.
awesome.
Amen.
I think that's another level. That's another level of challenges. That's another level of life. That's another level of living. That's another level of challenges. Um, you're you're burning it, mate. It's just awesome. It's just absolutely awesome to hear that. Um, I
Well, this is like I said. I thank the two of you, and even like Jackie's echo is in the back. You know, like always when we talk, there's still that controlling voice somewhere back there, and
Like the George Costanza doll, or the
yeah,
your episode
exactly,
of Costanza. Yeah, same
yeah,
thought.
exactly. You know, and I will chat with Jackie now and then, so I still kind of hear that voice coming through. So this accountability group is weekly consistent. Like you guys know, like Johnny's been in these groups before. It's like there starts to be a certain diminishment of action or results or whatever, and you get bogged down and stuff. And at least for me, it has kept me accountable. It's like, okay, well, shit, I didn't do the ad campaign, or I didn't do this or that, or Graham didn't finish writing his book. What's going on? And I seen Johnny go through this thing with the door hangers and all that stuff, and now I just feel like his
What's
focus
that?
is so much better. Yeah, like the door hangers and just worrying about what the tagline was going to be, and like you're so much more on point than when you first started. So like I see it all for us. Like I see getting our thoughts out verbally to people that are going to hold us accountable. I think is a huge thing on a weekly basis. So I'm glad we've been able to do this.
Wow. That's cool. Do we want to ask any questions, or are we just going to slide into
No,
John's?
yeah, one thing I will say, a different recommendation is that, and actually, and the reason I thought of this, because I'm glad that Rudy went first, because as he was talking, I definitely was focused on what he was saying, but what he was saying, it triggered some thoughts for me that I wrote down that if I would have went first, I wouldn't have said. So I would just maybe recommend that we kind of structure it so that we can kind of get back to people every so, and say, okay, did anything else come up for you, and then allow us to share. That'll kind of bring some structure so we don't fly away. And then number two is, no, as a Rudy, I think actually one thing I'm going to share today is I just came across this book, and it really has this, it's lined up for life insurance agents, and it's really all kind of the internet funnel. And that's something that I picked up on right away because of what I learned from you, what you've been doing for the last, I guess, 6 months. So I want to thank you for that. And then also, that's how this group's affected me. But then too, I've seen Rudy, a lot of you. You just your sticking with this. I'm trying to. I'm picturing in my mind all the work you're doing on your website, on your funnel. You're always trying something new every week. You're trying things. You're analyzing it. And so I'm seeing a lot of progress and a lot of work from you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I something is registered with me, which perhaps is one of maybe the least important things from your perspective, but it's just the little live videos that you put up. It just seems to
Mm.
me a nice way of make putting making the connection without needing to maybe stress too much about making a big deal about making the connection. The short live messages that you've put out. It's always something that's sort of popped up in my Facebook feed, and I've thought, oh, he's still there. He's still doing it. He's still working away at it, and it's nice to see that as well. It's just a little element that registers in my world here. Um, from what it is that you're doing there, and with everything that I know that you've been doing with the Facebook advertisements, getting that right, getting the Ad Espresso, I think was the program that you used to set that up, getting all your graphics done, reaching out to new clients, bringing in new clients, working hard on each aspect of your business to make it the best that it can be right now, which must be a great difference from where you were at this point last year. You must feel in a different uh, physical and mental space.
Yeah, like the frame of mind and all that, is it's changed so much. So it's like it's like I was talking about just being introverted and always wanting to do everything on my own and the solopreneurship and all that. Well, some of those things are always going to be there, but it's like now there's a larger base of support. There's, like I said, there's some camaraderie, which helps a lot. There's people who, some of the Facebook group, I will get, a kernel of good advice here and there on how to pursue different things. Or I see somebody where I was at, starting to grow, and I'm like, okay, well, it's possible to do this type of thing. So just having more of a social circle, even though it's online, which for me works. That's what that book Quiet talks about is developing more of a social circle. The easier way to do it is online because you have more control over it. You don't sit in a meeting, like Johnny has said in the past about the Anthony Robbins stuff, where you feel like this hour may not be the most productive, or on some of the BU calls where you just hear people, talking about themselves for 15 minutes, and then another person talking about themselves for 15 minutes, and nothing, like there's no knowledge being shared, there's no accountability being shared. There's, you're just hearing people talk about themselves. So, this venue for me works, I think, really well. Like, obviously, it'd be good sooner or later. I'm going to go up to see Johnny. Hopefully, he'll give me a ride in the tractor, and we'll be able to.
We might go surfing. Well, you already surf. I'd say we might go surfing, but it depends where I'm at.
Yeah, so we'll be able to and now, like, my actual European trip is starting to come around. Like Colin in Ireland, he's opening up a new gym that used to be at the converted church, and he does a lot of rehab work. So I definitely want to go visit him this next year. And then I have a friend that lives in London. My wife wants to go to Wimbledon, or he lives outside of Wimbledon. My wife wants to go to Wimbledon next year. We hopefully can put that together. And then I'm sure Slovakia is just around the corner from Wimbledon, so maybe we can do a whirlwind European tour.
Yeah, Slovakia is on the border of everything,
Yeah,
everywhere.
on everything. Yeah, so that's my plan for next year. It's like it's all possible. We just gotta budget it properly, and I'll sleep in your basement. So if you have a basement, just so we can deal with this.
Does Johnny surf? Do you surf, mate?
No, I used to, but I came to a point I was really horrible at it, and I just said I didn't like it anymore. But no, I don't.
What does that mean that you came to a point where you were really horrible at it? How does that?
I'd been surfing for several years, and I wasn't very good. And one day I was just paddling out. Waves kept coming, kept getting beat down, and I just sat on the beach, and I was like, I'm done. So then I'd start playing football all the time.
Not the usual surfing epiphany story that I hear.
Right. I know.
Usually it's on the waves and you see God or a dolphin talk to you or something, and like surfing is life. But Johnny was like, this isn't for me anymore.
After several years, I mean that's
how determined I am.
That's resilience.
I do have a lot of resilience. It's both a blessing and a curse.
Yes. So we see. Well, I'd love to come out there and see you get beaten down by those waves someday.
That would be interesting.
Yay!
So So that's me. And again, thank you guys. But yeah, let's move on. Johnny?
Good. Good. Okay, I'll go. So, as I look back on the year, I think that the first thing that was important was you guys pushing me to do my website, and in being that, because after going through this book and listening to these podcasts I'm listening to, I'm pretty much close to launching this, and I'll talk about it in a bit. To launch, because I've already had my website set, and if it wasn't for you guys, it was at that point too where I said I was going to do it, and then I was responding on BU, and then Rudy said, "Hey, why are you on here? You're supposed to be doing your website." And I got to say, from that point on, what Rudy said was, I never told you this before, but I really stopped being as active on BU and was more focused. So then I shut down the computer, boom, and then finished it, and it's done. And now it's done, and that was the first thing. Number two was the patent I did. That was really that is one of the most remarkable things I've ever done. And I'm really interested in patents since I've done that. And then the resources that I've gotten from you guys as well. Like the YouTube, RIP YouTube stuff, that's been huge, and just the different stuff that we talk about, the different ahas that I hear, and then in terms of my business, I feel like it's still not necessarily defined. But what I need more than anything is funding, is seed money, and so I came across this. I still have the passion for life insurance. I have the like I was telling Matt Temby a while back. He was just kind of saying he wanted to get some side income. And he had these ideas like, trading options, being a trainer, yada, yada. And I was just like, you know what, trading options is great, but there's a huge learning curve. I mean, you already know what you're doing, and you're already a fitness trainer, so why don't you do that for side income? Because there's no learning to it. You can just do it today. So anyway, so that's what I'm working on now as campaign. The investments are definitely important. The investments are really where I see my business going, but I'm not necessarily generating enough revenue right now. But it's still something I can do. And then also the insurance. There's this program that I'm going to be working on just with throughout the year, and I'll share with you guys. And that's where I had seeing the parallels with what Rudy was doing, and so I picked it up really, really quickly. So in terms of my progress, I think I've been, because of you guys, I've been progressing faster and better, and still, and yeah. So that's my share. And like I said, I'll think of other things, but that's it for now.
So, if you compare yourself at this time last year to where you are now, would you say that there's a difference? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I would say there. I told you I launched my business at the beginning of the year in March. So I would really February or March, but I would really I really am. I can't compare apples for apples. But this idea, it's a messy idea that I got in October. I've really been progressing towards that, and I think to answer your question is, it's really night and day. I mean, now I'm pursuing what I love. I'm independent, and yeah, of course, I'm not going to say no. No, I'm in the same place. But I think I'm more focused, and seeing more results.
Super. Rudy, would you like to feed in anything at this point?
Well, I think especially the last few months, because obviously we're more focused on business, I'll add some personal growth like I did, but all the things like your father-in-law and then the cat and the dog and this and that and you're still moving forward. So I don't know if that would have been a hindrance in the past where, you know,
Yeah.
it's like you're attending to personal things and still keeping the right mindset to move forward. So with me, I think in the past, my pendulum would swing way over to one or the other. And for the longest time, you could say it was an excuse, like, oh well, the girls were so young. I just want to focus on making enough money to pay the bills because I want to be involved in the actual raising of them. Because they take so much time, especially when they're younger. You have to do everything for them. And I'm happy that I did that, but I don't have that excuse anymore. So there was an organic way of moving towards being more productive business-wise. But for me, I wanted to improve personally too, because I want to be more of an example for them. So that's why I've done certain things for me. So in regards to Johnny's stuff, it's like I see like some of the stuff, and I think you're a little more private with some of your touchy feely personal family stuff. And I'll tend to put mine out there more. But I've seen that, like you've gone through these things, and you're like, well, I don't want sympathy. I'm not asking for that. Well, yeah, we're all friends. I want to give you some sympathy, a little pat on the back. But I've seen you still move forward, still stay focused, still do those things, and I look forward to you going to Vegas and getting pissed and working off some of that steam because yeah, you deserve it, man. You deserve it. So.
Good, thank you. And I'll kind of just piggyback on that and just say, yeah. Last week and even this week. I wasn't really sure I was deserving of being in the group. I just feel like I've been, and two, I have, this doesn't really happen. These losses I've had don't happen a lot in my life. I haven't had a loss in a long time. And these people and my animals were just special, and I'm not replacing them. I'm not a pet owner anymore. I can't handle it. But, the Tony Robbins in me could have turned and just said, boom, all business, moving forward. But part of me was just like, these are special individuals, and I really want to give them my attention. Then back to like I said, I was going to take a leave of absence, and I wasn't going to quit the group. Just because I didn't feel like I was being consistent to you guys. But I just thought, there's just so much you guys on a personal level, you guys have helped me with, and there's a lot of things that I've done that I wouldn't have done on my own, and I knew that not being a part of this would have I'd be going backwards. So I'm back here. I'm committed, and I don't see anyone else dying for a long time. So I'm good.
All right, well, we're here for you, man. We're here for you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Right. Moving on to myself.
Yes. Graham.
I think we should also bring in a little bit of history here. That's the first contact that we had with each other was through the Breathe University Facebook forum, I think, and that's where I posted a rant to see if I could just stimulate any life outside of the regular spectrum of happenings, and I found and discovered that there were people who were prepared to put in a little bit of time and energy and share their business world with me so that I could also share my business world with them and hopefully take steps forward. That was originally Rudy first, and Rudy introduced me to Joni, and Rudy introduced me to everybody because Rudy knew everybody. Also, there was Alphonse in our first one or two conversations that we had. And there was also Jackie for the first half of the meetings and sessions that we did, and I think that everybody who has been a part of the group has fed in something unique, something special, and something that nobody else could really have contributed, which is three ways of saying exactly the same thing. Right. Um, as far as I'm concerned with my work over the last 6 months, it's definitely helped to listen to other people's struggles and problems and to watch them puzzle out their solutions to them and take steps forward. Sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly, but to see that happening is always a great reminder that if you do put the time and effort and focus in an intelligent way on the things you need to do, oppor- there is an opportunity for progress with everything. I am looking at a board here which has a plan of prices on it, which is something that I worked through the group with, dividing the school's courses into a simple plan, a growth method, an advanced program, and a period of elite development, which is somewhere in this folder of information that I've been trying to keep up to date as we go through the course. I will, in fact, I can clip these things out, and so I can go, there we go. That's one of the products of our work together. I'm also in here looking at logo ideas, which is something I worked through with the group as well for the school. I've also got the extended elevator pitch, what is Native Speakers Academy, in English and in Slovak as well, to explain to Slovaks what it is that I've been working on. There's also price plans that I've got. There's also stuff that I dug out of the archives that I haven't spoken to you guys about before, which is a customer satisfaction and evaluation form, which I am using again with my clients. I haven't used that for a while, but it's, have we frozen?
I can hear you. I'm fine.
Okay.
No. Good.
Okay.
I can see everybody moving.
Okay, just like everybody froze, and I was like, "Are they listening, or
No,
have
we're
I
just,
have I
yeah, we're
killed?"
in awe. We're starstruck. We're not moving.
That was the other option, right? Okay. So the customer satisfaction and evaluation form, um, which I've been using with some students. I've got letters that I've prepared. I've got Johnny's original vision statement information in here. And I've got my response to his vision statement, where I originally made a video and then transcribed the video with the help of my assistant, which was another thing that grew out of the group, getting an assistant for the second part of the year. I've got my school vision and mission and my daily core principles as well, which is on a board uh, in front of me when I'm working all of the time, so that I can try to stay focused on that. I've also got a whole bunch of notes about different elements of motivation and positive ideas that I can use when working with students through coaching some of the issues that I help them with. So those are some of the things that have grown out of our work together. There are a lot of little videos as well that I've put up on Facebook. Also working with you guys, recording these sessions and editing them and putting them up is an archive that maybe not isn't is maybe not so important for you guys, but I want to be able to look back in 4 or 5 years, whatever happens at this period of time in my life, and go, I did something with these people that I really respect, and it will hopefully exist as a permanent record which won't piss off too many people. um, and I think that it will be something nice that I can look back on, the videos that have been edited and posted up. What else? What else can I add? The book that I wanted to put up online for at least 6 years has happened. It's up and it's online and it's in different formats. That's going in the right direction. I have the next project related to that, which is I want to do another book by the end of this year, which is a short period of time, but I want to get it done. That's for plans that I have for next year. I still need to integrate a lot of ideas and develop working online, which has led me to the realization that there are a lot of things that I don't know that I need to know. There are a lot of things which other people are telling me online that are extremely important, and when they talk about it or mention it, it doesn't register within me at all, which either means that it's completely pointless or that it's actually extremely important. And it probably means that it's extremely important, and I need to go further into these topics and subjects through the through Freedom University. I need to throw myself in there a little bit more and see if there's something that I'm missing. Now, it might be that there's not something that I'm missing, but I won't know until I dive down deeper and see what's really there. You can't state that there's nothing there if you don't for sure know that there's nothing there. So it's a bit like a scientist studying space to see if there is actually space there or not. So it's a bit, it's it's territory that I need to go into with the work that I'm doing. What else do I have to say? Meeting every week has given me something to look forward to. It's given me some reason to put a little bit of extra effort into everything that I'm doing around about, whether it's the digital work that I've done with Rudy in terms of putting up things live on the internet and having the ability to do with that. Although I haven't followed through with all of my ideas, they're still there and I can pick them up at any point in time, or get things together and do things very slowly. Like over the last week, I've created, I don't know what to call it, an inspiration board, which is here on my wall, which is lots of different information that I've taken off of Pinterest, graphics which I know are things that methods that I need to keep in mind when I'm working that maybe don't automatically come to me within my work. And what I've done is printed them out, laminated them, and put them all on this board so that I can spend a few minutes each day looking at the different processes that I need to go through within my work, within my communication with people, in order to make sure I get the right results that I need. So I've made two boards, one there and I've put one somewhere else in my office. It's some things that I know and I do already, and it's good to review them, and other stuff which perhaps I miss out on from time to time. And that's sort of it, really. Added subtitles to a video over the last week about that promotes the school, so it's now got Slovak subtitles in it if anybody watches it in Slovakia, and step by step. So I don't know if you want to ask me any questions or dig deeper or throw a custard pie. It's up to you guys.
Well, I can see, like, you, I think, have a lot more, you have defined a lot more of what you are doing and kind of collecting your resources for your next big step, which, I'm on you about, well, what's your next big step, since you're already maxed out with clients. So I kind of see a little better the entire picture of what Graham's been doing the last 6 months here. It's like, I think he has worked on his business, and I think he has mapped out the resources for his next big step. And the books are part of that next big step. Obviously, we finally know that now. So I am looking forward to the next 6 months of seeing Graham take that next big step. Now that he has the resources and he's learning where to get better resources for the next big step.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll piggyback on that. And
There was no question there. Go ahead, Johnny.
I just fallen asleep. Sorry. I just.
no, Rudy's pushing you. Yeah, you're not going to get away without doing something big this year. Rudy's not going to let you out of it.
Well, that's the hope, isn't it? You know, he's Rudy's the dog nipping at my heels. The the tiger behind me chasing me down the road.
So I have two or three things. The first one I'll say, Graham, is that you're the stability of the group. I mean, me and Rudy have come and gone week after week, and then you've been here. And I think without you, this may have not fallen apart, but it really may have. It really may have. I mean, even though you almost made it completely fall apart, but but we're all stronger because we're all stronger because and you're just a consistent guy that's every time, Thursday. Me and Rudy being Americans, we might be like, all right, hey, how about 5 o'clock today? I can't do this, but you're always there, and we know you're going to go to bed right afterwards. So we know this is the time, and it's because you're there. Number two, I will say, I think you've probably done more actual. You've produced more than I think any of us in the group. More content, more than anything. I mean, you're just always, just doing stuff. And then number three, I would say, is what I've seen from you is that, at the very beginning, you're like, what do I do? Do you have 30 minutes? We're like, no, we don't. We need to know in freaking 30 seconds. And so I think you've become a very concise person, very, just so that people understand what you're doing. And I think that's helped your productivity because I think you understand, too, what you're doing and where you're going. So those are the three things I'll throw into you.
Well, feeding back into that, there is a certain need to work with people who have skills beyond the skills that you have. And for me, both of you guys have skills beyond the skills that I have. And so I can lean on you to carry me through certain problems or reach out to have you guys pick me up sometimes when that's really necessary. And one of the things which is really important to me in my life is standards. I don't want things to be just good. Good is not good enough for me. I want things to be great. And there are not that many people that I know or have met in my life who have a similar perspective on that, which is good is not good enough. It has to be great. If there's any opportunity or any space to make something better, it should be better. There's no reason in the modern world for things not to be better when we have the technology and capabilities to share information that can help each other. And the consistency provided by you guys in the answers to my questions and in the help with accountability has been fundamental in me taking the little steps to go the long way. Whether it's me asking Johnny to say, hey, can you give me a wake-up call at a certain time or a wake-up message, or me or Rudy explaining to me the things that I need to hear, even though I don't know that I need to hear them. even if it is only on the second or third listen to our conversations, which is what I do. I play them back and listen to myself and you guys to catch the things that you're trying to tell me that I've missed the first time. I find that I miss a lot of things the first time around. So I do spend quite a bit of time in reflection. And so when you guys are trying to guide me through something or help me with something, if I don't get it at that point, don't worry, I will get it later. It just takes a little bit of time to filter through the concrete that surrounds my brain most of the time. So that's how I feel about that. I think that I have this quest for each thing in every area of my life for things to be the quest for excellence, which is in essence what all education is about. And the original principle of the Greek or Athenic concept of education is an achievement of excellence, not just in one area of life, but in all areas of life. And what I feel is that you guys, for me, provide some of that when nobody else can. You provide that spark of being here, being online, keeping in contact, listening, and guiding when it's necessary. So I just want to say thank you for that.
You are welcome. I think we're doing good, and I think we're doing good on time. I think we've got a lot of information relayed, and we're actually still have time left. So.
Okay.
So, I have a share. A couple of things actually. I forgot that I had done was my logo. I wouldn't have gotten that done without Graham's help in recommending Fiverr. Also getting photos done. That was something I'd committed to and done it. And then also infographics. I had no idea what those were, and so I'm glad to have learned that from you guys.
Yeah, resources are a big thing. Is there something specifically you wanted to move on to, Graham? Because I'm excited about some resources that I wanted to share before we get off the air.
While you say before we go, I would like to propose that we that we lay out an individual plan for the remaining of the year, like where are we going, what are we doing, and I don't know about now, but in the next.
I can go right now if you want. I mean, like I said, I got refocused Tuesday, and I've been doing a boatload of research. So
I think that if I can add something, what maybe Johnny means, or what would work with me, is to see something visual, like if we can write. September, I want to do this. November, I want to do this. December, I want to do this. So at the end of the year, I'm going to be here. It doesn't need to be anything a lot. It can just be September, going to do this. Oh, I missed a month, didn't I? September, October. I just said October.
Hey, and yeah, I definitely agree, Graham. And I'll take it one step further. Is that I would suggest even to where, okay, in December 31st, I will be at this point, and then for that to happen, I need to do this December, this November, this October, this September.
So you're back planning, yeah.
Back, yeah.
Okay.
And it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. It can be just quick bullets. It doesn't have to be. It can be real elaborate.
Well, I think doing deconstructing your goal for the end of the year. Very general, and then as weeks go by, fleshing it out. So yeah.
Yeah, because too, like I'd be interested to see Rudy. I for example, Rudy, I want to add 5 new members to my club by the end of the year. Graham, I want to charge double by the end of the year. So something measurable,
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's a really nice idea. I can see right now as I slowly drift away from the goal, kind of mid-November kind of panic going, I'm not going to get there, but it is necessary to have that target in order to have that feeling. So yeah, I would be down with within the next week, each of us posting a short summary of the deconstruction of our goal for the end of the
Yep.
year. That
All right.
makes
I will take on that assignment. I've been remiss with homework in the past, but I will take that on.
okay. Um, yeah, that's great. Before Johnny jumped in with that, Rudy was going to.
I was going to say if you had anything left on the agenda, or did you want to
There,
just
there, there are
do
one
some
or
shares?
there are one or two little things that I'd like to cover just before we share anything useful this week, which is there anything that we want to change in the way that we organize the basic meeting? We've had the elevator statement, the aha moment, new resource, progress check, any kind of mindset, philosophy. We hadn't a plan hot seat, which we did wherever, whenever was necessary. What are we doing next? Plans for the next week. I think it's worked generally well. Is there anything you want to add in or take out, or I don't know, just any thoughts about?
Well, I think Johnny's idea right now, I think that might carry us through the rest of the year. It's a little more distinct accountability. So yeah, I think getting that done is is the homework, like just the general, like this is where I want to be, this is what I want to be accomplishing by November, by December, and this is what I want to see at the end of December. So if we do that this week, then I think when we do talk about what do we do this week, I think it'll be a little easier to talk about those things if, yeah, we find a month, like, okay, so what are we doing for September? Well, this is what I said I do for September. Well, what are you doing for this week? So structuring it that way, at least referring back to what Johnny's saying, I don't know about changing the format in general, but using that, I think, will come in handy so that we're making sure we're not falling too far behind getting to that December goal. And the two of you, like for me, the two of you can see, hey, well, you said you do these in November and they're not done, or maybe I did an ad campaign and it didn't work out, so now I'm behind. So what am I gonna do, to try and get to that December goal because my whole idea didn't work at all for November. So I think keeping it in that larger format is what Johnny's saying. I think that's going to be good, and just adapting that to the weekly accountability. So I think that homework is going to be important, and I think, right, like for me, I know writing down is something that I don't do as much as I should, and I will start doing that. And I think that will help me move forward a lot quicker. So reporting, having a written format to what we report back every week, I think will be important. Like, here's my homework, teacher, I wrote it down. So I think having something written down every week to share with the group, I think, would be an important step forward.
Yeah, and with that, I will say too that I really liked contributing when we had someone on the hot seat, or even people talking about what they did for the week. And I really enjoyed personally being able to listen to what you're doing and then kind of troubleshoot and kind of feed it back to you. So I think that was important. I think
I like the hot seat. I don't know if you want to just alternate people every week, or have one time a month where we like do that. Like worst case scenario, devil's advocate. Whatever. Just to put somebody on the spot. Like, hey, what works better? Like,
yeah, and
every week or once a month, or
and I think how we were doing it was fine. I think it was more spontaneous. It was kind of like we kind of sensed someone was was having challenges or someone was doing something. I'm not sure I remember we really that someone was designated for a hot seat. I think it was kind of like when people talked about what they were doing. It's okay, you're going on a hot seat today.
All right. All right.
Okay. I have two small questions, quick questions, hopefully.
Yes.
First question
Quick
is,
answers.
yeah, that's what I wanted to get to. Thank you. You've cleared that one up, right? What does accountability actually mean to you personally? What does accountability mean to you personally? Because if we're going to continue this accountability, and I think that it's worked so well, I just would like a little bit of an off the top of the head what it means to you to be here within the group.
So I'll just say real fast. Accountability to me is it is stating something that I'm going to do, and then having it in the back of my head that I have to report to someone, to this group, and that it kind of adds pressure. And being solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, you don't necessarily have a boss saying, give me this thing done. So that's what it means to me.
Okay, Rudy.
Okay. Well, on top of that, which I agree with, I would say follow through, because, and I've been guilty of this myself, is, well, I tried this because I said I would do it, but then I realized I really didn't like that, or I talked to somebody and they said, try this. That could go on forever. It's like, okay, all right, but you said you would do this, so do it all the way to the end. It's like, do it and see if you get results. And then it's like, okay, well, maybe you might see something that's better and try that next, but you said you do this, so follow through with what you, and I'm guilty of that because I jumped from different types of media back and forth, or books or whatever. It's like follow through, be accountable for what you said you were going to do. Like follow through to the end, and if it gets you to where you want, great. If it doesn't, that thing that you saw along the path, well, go to that one and try that. But follow through on what you said you were going to do.
I second.
And how about you? Anything
The,
else, Graham? Graham, answer your own question. You have nothing to add?
um, I think I can only echo what you guys have said. Um, that accountability is something like an external conscience for me. It's it's a way of focusing the inside from the outside. That which I miss or fail to do myself, I hope that others, you guys, will pick up on and keep me on the right track. Basically, that's what it means. And from a language point of view, let's say accountability, counting things, keeping the score, I suppose, in terms of accountability. Looking at the growth, analyzing the growth maybe from a slightly scientific perspective in terms of numbers, and growing in my own personal abilities through feeding into your knowledge and your experience, and using that as well. Um, so there we go. That's that. I have another question. It's not really very important, so we'll skip over it and get to any resources that, or aha moments, or shares, or whatever,
Yeah,
whatever you got.
if nobody has anything specific, like I think I got about 15 minutes
Okay, well, I said to
left.
share, but
So Johnny,
maybe
go
I should
ahead.
share first, and then because I have to leave too.
Yeah.
I will say this, that I was looking at just online marketing for life insurance, and I actually found a book that describes the whole thing. So that was my resource. And then I was going to order the book, but then I came across Amazon Prime Kindle. Oh no, Amazon Kindle Unlimited. And so essentially they have thousands of books, and that was one that I did a 30 days for free trial, and I was able to pull the book up right away, and I read the whole thing in like a day and a half, or no, well, 2 days, but 2 half days. So the Kindle Unlimited is my resource.
Okay, which
Yeah,
book? Which book, sorry, was that?
yeah.
Oh, I don't know the title. It was called. I don't know the title. It was. It's like digital life insurance or something like that. I don't know. I forget what it's called.
Okay. Author? No.
Yeah, Jeff Root. It was actually well. Okay, so I wasn't going to get into it, but it actually it lays out really everything a person needs to do to generate leads and kind of how the challenges of it, how much time it takes, and the only thing I think you can use it in any industry. You would have to just read it and just apply it to your own industry. But it talks about writing articles that are valuable. And I think too. I want to give Rudy his time. I'll just say this: is that I think. And I'm at a point where I really have valuable stuff to share in the life insurance industry. I really want to share it. I think before, if I would have done this before, I would have just been trying to get people in, and it was not working. But I think now that I have other things to share, that I think it'll work better for me. So I will send it to you guys. And with that, I'm done.
Okay.
Really?
I don't have limited time. You have 7 minutes.
All right. Two things, and I think Graham always writes these types. There's a new site. I don't know how old it is, but it just got referred to me. Pexels.com with the E. Pexel.
Okay.
And it's either Pixel.com or Pixels.com. I'm not sure. It's images that are non-proprietary. Like the entire site is all the images you can download and use for personal or commercial use. Like there's not this two-tier thing where they give you 3 for free and then everything else on the side you have to pay for. So I think it is run by Shutterstock because there is images way down at the bottom of each page that you can buy from Shutterstock, but there's a fair amount of pictures that you can download for free. So if you're doing like what Johnny was saying, if you're writing articles and you just want to try and find a relevant picture of 2 people walking on a beach or whatever, they have a fair amount of resources there. Like there's even some for fitness that I may actually use when I start working on my blog more. So Pixel, it's either Pixel.com or Pixels.com. It's Pexel. The other one, I was watching my Fitness Business Summit, one of the resources that I have been watching. And one of the presenters basically took everything that he read in this book and did a presentation on it. It's called The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks, Gayhendricks, and it's on my Amazon Kindle that I have Prime for. And it's a very well-reviewed book. He's a professor. I think he either teaches at Stanford or Harvard or something, very well renowned. And it's basically kind of what we've always talked about. He talks about taking that big leap, meaning getting out of your comfort zone, but why you tend to self-sabotage sometimes, why you seek comfort in a certain level of success, and what it may take for you to get out of it by changing your perspective about certain things. And it sounds like a really good book. Again, it's one of those books where, again, I have to follow through and read the whole thing. But it sounds like a good book that I want to read the whole thing instead of just the first chapter, the first chapter, big idea. So I'll talk to you guys more about that. But the talk that A.J. Roberts did, the thing that I watched that he based his talk on, he basically went through a lot of the book and how it was relevant for fitness business owners. So I think it's got a lot of good ideas in it, a good mindset, or a way of organizing your thoughts as far as delegating things, just everything we talk about. So I will read through it and I will share my experience about it over the course of the next week or two when I get it finished. So those are my 2 resources.
If you're reading through it, I don't know if you can do this on the Kindle that you got, and there's a passage or a paragraph that is very pertinent or relevant or hits home. Is there a way that you can just copy the paragraph quickly and stick it on our Facebook page or something, or
I can bookmark it,
can you bookmark it
and I can highlight it
or
and
screen
say,
screen or highlight
yeah.
or
I mean, I
screenshot
can
it or
say this.
something?
I'll see how to copy it and send it out. Because I've done that with a few books. Like I've highlighted different sections on certain things. So I'll look that up. I still have to get you that receipt. I know I'll have to look it up the next few days to get it to you. So yeah, I'll take care of those two things.
Yeah, it's just and that goes for Johnny as well. Johnny, if you're going through a book or you're reading
Mm.
something, like you just spent 2 days reading a book and you're like, it's got lots of good information in it. Now, thank you for sharing that with us. I'm not going to go and read the book, and Rudy's probably not going to go and read the book. But if there's one page or one paragraph or something that made sense to you, it doesn't even have to make sense to us, just has to make sense to you. Yeah, if you can, I don't, if you can screenshot that page if you're reading it on a mobile device, or if you got a, I don't know if that doesn't work, take a picture of the device with your phone, or I don't know, or just highlight it
Right.
in text, or copy and paste, or
Sure.
I don't know, or lick the screen and then lick Facebook if that transfers
Mhm.
it. I don't know what's gonna work there,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
Um, and I think that goes for any of us. If we pick up anything anywhere which is relevant to us, if we can just, you know, paste paste it on the Facebook page, or copy it, or just stick it on there, so that maybe we can have an idea of what each of us is going through, or reading, or looking at. Because I know for for me, Rudy posts the I've got this idea from this and puts a link up, and it's useful. I follow it where I can, and I pick up what I can from it, and I really appreciate that when and where that's possible. Just because you're going to go through the whole book, and I'm not going to read the book, and maybe there's
Yeah.
one page
All right.
that's
Graham, we got 5 minutes. Your turn.
okay. And that the last thing that I said just feeds into what something about from BU, which was that ET got some business books and got everybody to read a different chapter, so that they didn't have in his organization to read a different chapter, so they didn't all have to read the whole book, and then feed back with the information they got from each chapter. So you see what I'm saying there?
Yeah.
We don't have to all read everything that each other are reading in order to understand everything that we need to understand. We can perhaps simplify it a little bit for each other, and pull out the key elements. I think that's what we do in our meetings anyway, but
Yeah.
it's just a passing thought. Um, so resources. I'm no, I don't have anything at the moment.
And that's
Boards,
okay.
boards. We talked about whiteboards and things before, so I was going through my garage clearing out stuff, and I found this old notice board, and I was like, old notice board needs to be new notice board. So I have all these laminated things in my office, and they and I put it into this board, which you can see the top part of it on the wall. I've got a smaller version. It's going to hold together. The things I couldn't put on the big board because I couldn't fit all the information because I got too much. I made a smaller board, and
Oh, cool.
the smaller board looks like this. And this is just the graphics that I took off of Pinterest and laminated,
Oh,
and
cool.
they're all little things to think about as I'm working related to my work. So on the right side, I've got setting rules for working with people. I've got 27 things to do with students who aren't paying attention. I've got morphing into a 21st century teacher, ways of using digital resources. I've got using innovation in the classroom. That's like about 20 different ways to do that. I've got what to do with students who are in groups who finish early, and another 27 more things to do with students who are not paying attention. It's just a way of keeping things interesting for the groups that I'm working with. And I took all the information that I had and fitted it onto one big board there, so that it's something that I can see every day, because if it's in a folder or in a book or stuck under something else, it kind of gets lost in the mix of everything that's going on and happening. Anything else that's I was thinking of ways to promote my business through Facebook recently, and I'd like to put up something new for students each day, or something new that keeps people interested in what I'm doing. Like one of the things that I did was add, as I said, Slovak subtitles to the latest video that I put up on YouTube. Another thing that I've done is I got a lot of business gifts from clients, and I've started taking pictures of the business gifts and putting them up on Facebook, sort of one by one, as a way of, these are people that I work with, and it promotes my organization. It also promotes their company at the same time, because usually it's got their logo or something on it, or I can say I got this from this company or that company. And there's quite a few big companies that I work with, so I think it creates a positive image of my brand if I can put stuff up and say, look, I work with people from Red Bull, or I work with people from Torque, or I work with people from other large organizations, basically. So that's using graphics just to spread the word. That's it, really. Just the usual daily little things about taking steps.
I think this was a great meeting. I'm glad we were able to touch base, and I think we have a good thing Johnny proposed for the rest of the year. So let's do some homework on that.
Yeah.
And it is time to go.
It's time to go. Okay, guys, thank you very much for your 60 minutes of success and feeding everything into all actions and all results for the last 6 months. Let's use this as the platform from which we will leap to ever higher goals and levels, I think.
Excellent.
So,
Excellent.
guys, have a great week, and we will resume, if it's okay for everybody, next week at the same time in the same place with a fully driven all action and all results drive towards the end of the year, where we're going to set our goals, deconstruct them, and then knock the ball out of the park.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Dude, it done.